Well, Joel's back. Sadly, anyways. It is not my max effort bench day, but the day that I'm max effort benching. But because of my silly new split, we're starting out with squats, I guess. I gotta check my phone because I really don't know at this point. It is confirmed we are squatting first. And this is like what I'd kind of define as my speed work slot, but I'm treating it a little bit more like practice. To be clear, I knew squats were the first thing in my program today. I was just trying to be silly.
Way better.
Doing 5 trips here. Not sure how many I'll show in the edit. There we go. Perfect. One more. Good. Sick. Felt really freaking good, so hopefully it looked as good as it felt. And somebody might be wondering, Seth, I thought you didn't like beltless training. Why are you training beltless in your practice slot? And truth is, I'm lazy and my belt's over there and the bar was loaded, so I said fuck it. And now that we are hella warm, it is time for that max effort bench, which really isn't going to be a true max effort because we're doing that indicator single and then work sets after the indicator single like we did on the weekend's squats. And I really don't like that I'm saying this, but I think 315 is going to be the wake up and decide what kind of day it is. Because we had that little shoulder tweak on the inclines on Thursday, and then on the weekend had a squat get dumped, and the arm isn't feeling super attached to me, so I'm gonna do my best to be aware of that. Really don't like that I have my mortal enemy spotting this set either, but we'll do what we gotta do. More than a single if it feels good. If it feels bad, less than a single. Just gotta fucking dig in harder and not be a pansy. That was a better unrack, we're fine. Oh yeah.
Fucking choker.
I actually
literally just wanted to flex on me.
As the second I finished saying the yeah, oh yeah, my bicep tendon rolled a little and I was like, oh, but I think we're fine. And that did feel really freaking good, but conservative jump. Also raising the safeties up because, well, safety. Most likely single unless it feels really, really good. Well, that was unintentional. It's like that video where I did the floor press and touched my chest and everyone's gonna be upset that I touched my chest in the pin press. I really gotta get better at inspecting how safe the safety pins are gonna be, so we'll fix that. And the reason I'm not like panicking with how the shoulder feels is that it is very reminiscent to how it felt during the like shitty phase post pec surgery, so we're kind of used to it. And like, I want to bench 4 today, so I'm gonna do my best to give myself a shot at that. But I also know that with how things feel, I don't need to bench 4 today. But I mean, that conversation really doesn't matter because either way, still gonna try to do as good as I can here. Actually felt better than the 355, and so we'll go for. Sick. Good enough, and down set, work set time. Just gonna do some reps at 3. To be clear, I don't think this is better than true max effort work. I just think that in the context of my current situation, getting the extra practice is going to be more productive with what I am missing under the bar on all of the lifts.
And Office Seth here to remind you guys that part one of my bench press biomechanics lecture series is happening inside of Team Activated this Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. My job with this lecture is to give you guys an understanding of the role that leg drive, the lats and upper back, as well as scapular positioning play into the bench press.
Felt better than the downsets did last week, so yay. Still could do a way better job of staying tighter later in the set, though. I forgot to count, so I cannot confirm whether that was better or not than the first set. And dropped it down to 2 for JMs. Hopefully they suck less than last week's. That was okay enough that I don't feel stupid for leaving the quarters out. Now, the trick is going to be to make sure that I don't feel stupid for loading it on the bar. Not totally thrilled with that, but so much better than last week. And we are now moving on to the D segment of this workout because SBD, right? And even then, that's more exciting than it sounds because I'm just running light single leg RDLs because tomorrow is going to be my heavy deadlift. And I'm just trying to make sure the hips are situated and feeling nice for that. And I really like doing these on the T-bar row or landmine because I can shove against the barbell to push me more into my lateral hip, plus you get a little bit of extra added stability. And I think the worst trade-off of this split, at least when I'm getting started, is I can't push a lot of the slots as hard as I would on a traditional split because like I'm worried about it. You good? Yeah? Belt squat accident. But what I was saying is that because I'm doing everything every day, I need to be more cautious with how I'm pushing it so that the sessions that matter, the slots that really matter, like tomorrow being my big deadlift, I don't want to be too cooked for that. I don't want to have fatigue from today bleeding in more than it has to. So as I'm easing in, as I'm starting out, I'm not going to push the more like feel good, intense type stuff super hard. But the plan is to start ramping it up sooner rather than later. I just want to make sure that I'm not overstepping in the short term. And on that note, I originally had some Meadows rows programmed in this slot, but I figure running the prime handle wide spready will be kind of similar stimulus, but a little bit easier on me as a whole. And we'll finish up with the ever so juicy hip flexor raises. Pushing them a little bit heavier than I have just because I'm not sure if I've been pushing them hard enough to do what I want them to do. So we got a bit more on the stack. Feels hefty, but feels nice. I'm okay with this. And like the advantage of doing these lying down on the bench is that you can stabilize the pelvis off the bench, kind of like dead bug intent into it, so it can make it a little bit easier to get it right. But then the advantage of doing them freestanding on one leg is you have to work so hard to stabilize the pelvis, and then you're also getting pulled more directly into hip extension, so you can get a bit better length stimulus for the sake of lengthening the hip flexors, not for any stretch median hypertrophy silliness, to be clear. And in case anyone's wondering, my plan, or what I have been doing for biceps on the split, is I've just been doing them in the mornings when I do cardio. So don't worry, the arms are still getting blasted, which is probably funny because that means everyone at the commercial gym is going to know me as the guy that only uses the stair mill and does biceps. And definitely not the gnarliest training session, but again, like, at least I felt like myself. Shit was working, stuff was moving well. Actually really happy with how connected these squats were, and then bench went way freaking better than I was expecting on warm-up. So yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily still think that it's the split that made the change as much as me kind of trusting the split more that's letting me make that change. And on that note, like, I still don't know if this exact layout is going to work, but the way I'm going to figure it out is by modifying based on how things unfold and making tweaks as we go and learning as we go and just like seeing like, hey, how does bench feel next Wednesday? Did bench climb a little bit? Did I feel like I had more snap? Then I know that I'm probably doing things right. If bench felt like total ass next week, I know that I'm probably cooking things a little bit hard, and same thing, so on and so forth with the other lifts. And like, if you're on a new split, like, odds are it's probably not going to work perfect right out of the gate. And if you want to make it work, you need to be okay with that so that you can dig in long enough to learn how to make it work with what you have. I almost said the word optimize, but I don't want to use the word optimize because nothing is ever optimal. It's just a matter of whether or not it's good enough to be good enough to drive you forward. And I think that we're at least on track right now. So we're going to do our best to keep that ball rolling. And if you guys want help figuring out your own shit so that you can get on track, make progress, and learn how to think about training and make better decisions for yourself, hit the link below and sign up for Team Activated.